like a busy end of the week.
3 potential rounds.
Yeah, that's right. We're watching tomorrow night, Friday afternoon, but especially Friday evening. That last one's going to be our best chance of severe thunderstorms. And some pretty strong ones, and that's why we've designated Friday as a first alert weather day for that potential for the severe weather. We're going to see high damaging winds as our main concern, especially Friday evening. Some of these wind gusts, they might be as high as 70 plus. Can't rule out some gusts as high as maybe 75 or 80 miles an hour. So with that, we're watching out for some wind damage, some power outages. Make sure you are ready for that. Have your emergency supply kits restocked, ready to go. Make sure you continue to stay with us here over the next couple days for the latest severe weather information. And it's not just us here in central Illinois. This is a huge swath of potential for severe weather. Eastern Iowa to Illinois to Missouri, South Kentucky, parts of West Tennessee, all the way south to Arkansas, expecting numerous severe thunderstorms on Friday. What's going to happen is we're going to see some individual discrete cells initially forming, especially in central and eastern Iowa and in Missouri, as they race east. And that's one of the correct words here. These storms are going to move quickly, which we'll show you on future radar in just a minute. But they will congeal into a squall line, and that will pass through here Friday evening, bringing us that potential for those very strong, damaging winds. 70-plus mile-an-hour gusts will be possible. That's obviously our main concern with this. We are watching somewhat of a tornado threat, actually in two different ways. Initially, Friday afternoon, we're watching for the formation of a couple of individual cells. That's a big if, though. The atmosphere is likely to be capped through at least the mid part of the afternoon. If that cap holds, we're not expecting any thunderstorm development, but if that cap breaks a little bit, if we get some sunshine, maybe late morning, early afternoon, we could see some storms forming, and with that, a potential for a few discrete cells that would also produce a tornado risk. But within the squall line itself, Friday evening, we also could see a couple of brief spin-ups. A lower tornado threat compared to the wind threat, but a non-zero risk. So we're going to watch that very carefully for Friday. Any discrete cells that could potentially form, again, a big if, Friday afternoon would also produce some large hail. We could see some heavy rain at times, but we're not expecting too much of a flash flooding threat, mostly because of the quick motion of these storms. Now, let's show you future radar and these 3 potential opportunities for thunderstorms starting tomorrow night and early Friday morning. A couple thunderstorms possible. All things considered, I'm not overly concerned about a widespread severe weather threat early Friday morning, but we definitely could see a couple stronger thunderstorms and maybe even a severe thunderstorm or two. If that happens, this will mostly be a hail threat as well as a heavy rain threat. Most of Friday morning is okay. We're going to watch our cloud cover. If we get some sunshine, we'll start to worry a little bit more about Friday afternoon. But here we are, 2:45 in our forecast model, really not showing too much out there. This is what we're hoping for. We're hoping for that cap to hold and us to be dry Friday afternoon. But again, we're going to watch that very carefully. Remember that Friday afternoon does represent our highest tornado threat if those storms manage to happen. And that's the big if. But big change as we head into Friday evening. Look at this. There's your squall line that's forming as these storms are moving east. And I notice they're going to move quickly. And here we are, 7 o'clock, beginning to enter Knox, Fulton counties. 9 o'clock, already east of Interstate 55. So some very strong storms producing the strong winds, possibly some power outages. Again, be ready for that Friday evening, but it looks like our severe weather threat will be done by 9 or 10 o'clock. That'll end from west to east. Want to make sure you have our 25 News First Alert weather app downloaded. We'll have our hourly forecast or daily forecast, video updates, as well as in the moment, some important things to have. You get the severe weather push notifications, as well as you can use interactive radar to track those storms. And don't forget about our live streams as well, 8 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. on 25newsnow.com and our 25 News Facebook page. Back to where we are tonight. Very quiet, just a little chilly tomorrow morning, either side of 30. Tomorrow warming up nicely into the 60s. It'll feel nice tomorrow. A little bit breezy at times, winds out of the south, but we're watching our first alert weather day on Friday for that potential for severe weather. Strong winds likely to continue Friday night into Saturday morning. And then our next area focus will be the middle of next week. Maybe a few more stronger thunderstorms, especially next Tuesday.
Welcome back on 25 News. First Alert meteorologist Devin Shuley. We're going to quickly update you on what's new at this point. We have seen an upgrade in our severe weather risk for areas along and west of the Illinois River. This means that they are now at a level 5 out of 5 for a severe weather threat this afternoon and this evening. Along with that, we are seeing increasing signs that a tornado outbreak is going to be possible today, and we continue to fine-tune the latest timing of our severe weather event this afternoon and evening. We did have a PDS tornado watch issued for the counties you see here in yellow. It's mostly all of our viewing area with the exceptions of LaSalle and Livingston County. Now, a PDS tornado watch means this is going to be a potentially or particularly dangerous situation. If a tornado were to form, it may be long track, and it may also lead to some life-threatening situations. That these tornadoes are going to be violent if they do form. Here's the update to our severe weather risk. Here is that pink, that level 5 out of 5 risk. This is our favorite area to see those tornadoes form, but they are tracking this way. So that's why the rest of our viewing area is still at a level 4 out of 5. This is saying that widespread, likely severe weather is going to happen this afternoon and evening. Our primary threats still remain damaging winds up to 75 miles per hour. And then, of course, those tornadoes, they can be strong. We're seeing greater than an EF2. So please finalize any kind of safety plans because it's going to ramp up here shortly and within the next couple of hours or so. And again, continuing through this evening. Radar and satellite, we may be quiet now, but zooming in here, you can see in northeastern quadrant of Missouri, we're already seeing severe weather spark just south of Quincy there, crossing the border into Illinois. So we're going to watch to see if this activity continues to go the distance and make its way into our viewing area within the next 2 hours. So again, quiet now. I think after about 2 p.m., that's when we're going to begin to see some of those isolated supercellular severe thunderstorms that are going to produce those damaging winds and the tornado threat there. After that first initial wave, again, a lot of dry time. Not everybody's going to see that severe weather this afternoon, but then come this evening, we're going to see a barreling line after about 5 o'clock. This is going to push its way very fast, 70 miles per hour. Like up to 70 miles per hour fast. So along the Illinois River Valley, say 6 or 7 o'clock, along I-55 around 7 or 8. This is again where we can see those straight line damaging winds. We can also see those tornadic winds. So very serious situation this afternoon and evening. After it's all said and done by 9, 10 o'clock. We will trend quieter, but definitely still windy and a little bit colder as we head into the weekend. I hope you finalize all of your storm preparation for today. Having a NOAA Weather Radio, our 25 News First Alert weather app is a great source to have. It will update you when a tornado watch is issued, like it was this afternoon or earlier today, along with a tornado warning. So making sure you just have a way to stay safe and be notified if a storm becomes severe this afternoon and evening is going to be key. It's a very balmy and warm day. That's why we're seeing the cold air clash with the hot air, and that's why we're getting the chance for these severe thunderstorms. After the system passes, much colder for your weekend. We will fall into the mid to upper 40s, and it's going to be a windy day. At about 1 p.m., so within the next 15 minutes, we will see a wind advisory go into effect for our entire viewing area. Winds will stay gusty beyond this point, up to 55 miles per hour tomorrow morning. So power outages and other kind of risk like that are still going to exist after our severe weather threat today. Now, looking right now, again, it's just mild. It's cloudy. It might deceive you, but again, severe weather is on the way this afternoon and evening. So again, just stay prepared and stay vigilant. And we do have actually the chance again for potentially severe weather as we head into next week. So a lot of up and down weather to keep an eye on here for the next 7 to 10 days. But again, make sure you have some way to be notified as we have a high risk for severe weather this afternoon and evening.
One of the first nights of the year, you might actually need air conditioning, Chuck.
Yeah, we were at 83 today. We're in the mid-70s right now because we're still in the warm air sector. I hate to tell you, but we have severe weather coming our way in the morning between about 5 and 10. So we'll get a little bit of a break now, but the cold front has to go through. This was not the cold front tonight. This was just another disturbance in the warm air sector. So let's get to some pictures and videos, and you guys rock out there. Just make sure when you're filming severe weather, videotaping it, make sure you do it from a safe distance and make sure you take cover if you have to. And we've seen a lot of pictures and damage come out of Fulton County, especially around the Lewistown area. There is some big-time hail around Smithfield. That's from Nancy Brown. We had upwards of baseball-sized hail in Fulton County again. Hannah Elizabeth, that's Bryant. You can see the damage there. You've got a lot of tree damage around Fulton County. Lewistown is hard hit. We showed this earlier, but this is from Connor and Daniel. And look at this. I'll wait for this to cycle on through because we can see debris coming up right here. You can see debris flying in the air from that tornado in Lewistown. And Lewistown really hard hit. Keep those folks in your prayers and your thoughts. And this is Becky Snyder of Lewistown, a picture of the wall cloud that probably preceded that tornado. If that is not part of the tornado itself, it's kind of hard to tell from that picture, but that is a huge picture. Becky, thank you very much. We've had 5 tornado reports in Fulton County. And the Weather Service will obviously be surveying damage to see the intensity of the tornado that hit Lewistown as well. We had one hit the Table Grove as well, some damage there. That's still in Fulton County. And then off into McDonough County, a couple of tornadoes as well. So Weather Service survey teams will be busy tomorrow determining exactly what went on. But we're not done. Look at this. Here's the squall line associated with the cold front attached to this system, and that'll be pushing its way through central Illinois in the morning. And it looks like we have a chance for severe weather between about 5 and 10 in the morning. So that's why we've declared tomorrow morning a first alert weather day with all the hazards in place. A couple of tornadoes a possibility, damaging winds and large hail as that squall line goes through. Isolated in western Illinois, more scattered along the Illinois River, and more numerous as this system goes off to the east along the I-55 corridor. And a brief spin up or two can't be ruled out. Large hail and those strong winds and some localized downpours. And to add insult to injury, we have a wind advisory for our eastern 3 counties, LaSalle, Livingston, and McLean. Even without thunderstorms, you'll have winds 20 to 25, gusting 45 tomorrow, causing maybe some isolated power outages. That's from 7 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. So after the storms depart, we'll still have the strong winds tomorrow afternoon. All right, Skywatch Camera Network, it's all quiet in River City, but Peoria was under a tornado warning for a while. The reason why, we had the storms, 83 the high today and high humidity levels, and we almost got to a record. 86 is the record high in 1929, and right now it's 75 muggy degrees in Peoria. Southerly's at 23, so the atmosphere is still juiced up. We're still in the warm air sector. When the cold front comes through in the morning, you'll know it. 74 in Bloomington, normal southerly winds at 32. Twin Cities, you escaped the wrath tonight, but I don't think you will tomorrow. Area temperatures running upper 60s to the mid 70s as all of us are warm. Here's the gigantic storm system and the cold front out to the west. And as we zoom things in, we are high, dry, and quiet here, just cloudy skies and the warm and muggy conditions. But here's a look at that squall line we'll be looking at between 5 and 10 in the morning. Meteorologist Balint Salivari and Devin Mashuli will be here to keep you ahead of those storms during the morning show. And even if we have storms outside the morning show in the morning, they'll have all the details for you. Otherwise, once we get through this system, we'll be a little bit cooler. We could start the day with some frost on Thursday. We'll be in the mid-60s. And then the holiday weekend is looking pretty good at this point. Tyler?
I want to show you a timeline of what we saw yesterday with some of these thunderstorms as they moved through. It was really just one cell for the most part, and we were watching these storms carefully. Chuck and I were during our evening news yesterday off to our west in McDonough County at 6:41 in the evening. That's when we saw our first tornado warning, still outside the viewing area, but the storm was moving northeast. There were lots of funnels in the area. And then just around 7 o'clock or so, we did see the first tornado warning in Fulton County. It was just before 7 o'clock at 6:54, and that was observed. Again, Table Grove was one of the first towns that was affected by this. We did see some damage there. This then continued to move east, and at 7:23, that's when a PDS warning was issued, a particularly dangerous situation, and we saw the devastation and the damage in Lewiston. That was one of the areas affected by this. Bryant as well, as the cell continued to race toward the northeast. 7:33. The PDS warning continues. You see the polygons there lit up in that pink color. That's that PDS warning. Then the storm began to weaken a little bit as it approached Peoria County, as it passed east of Canton at 7:45. All PDS warnings were dropped, but tornado warnings were continued for radar indicated rotation. That storm did approach Peoria, brought some heavy rain as well as some vivid lightning. And at 8:07, The final tornado warning was issued. After that, the storm continued to dissipate as it crossed over the Illinois River. And there was a lot of devastation in Fulton County yesterday, and with some widespread damage. And we want to send things over to First Alert meteorologist Devin Mashuli, and she is in Fulton County with the live updates of some of the damage there. Devin?
Yes, thank you, Brian. I am live on Milton Road. This is in Lewistown. And like Brian said, when the tornado got here to Lewistown, it became a PDS, a particularly dangerous situation. And you can see clearly by the damage all behind me. We are at the home of the McCormicks, and they were at home at the time of the tornado warning, but they were hunkered down in their basement, and everybody is safe. Now, unfortunately, their home has suffered tremendous damage. They also have two machine sheds across the street. But those have also sustained massive damage. I mean, there's a perimeter here of trees. As far as the eye can see, it is covered in some debris, whether it's the house or the machinery across the road. There's tractors tilted on their sides. Their car that was parked in the garage actually was lifted forward almost up a couple of steps into the home. So you can see trees here all knocked over. Again, as far as the eye can see, there is destruction. But the good news is everybody here is safe. Their son actually texted them 5 minutes before the tornado got here. And of course, he said his dad was just kind of standing looking out the window. Where's the tornado? But luckily, the dad got into the basement with his wife, and they hunkered down underneath the stairwell, and they are completely safe. Now, they do plan on rebuilding here. Obviously, it's going to take a while. They did have two machine sheds across the street, but now I think they're only going to rebuild one. So the key is that, yes, whenever you hear a tornado warning, get down to the basement, get into that safe spot, because everybody, again, is safe. They do have some belongings that they're able to recover. It's not complete doom and gloom, but definitely a long road ahead for rebuilding this home. But they are going to stay here. And, I mean, up and down Milton Road, we have seen a lot of destruction here. So all of our prayers are going out to everybody impacted, and we'll be talking to the son of the McCormicks later on this evening to kind of see, you know, how it went when he was in town or things that he saw. So that's all for me. Praying for everybody impacted by the devastation here. I'm meteorologist Devin Mashuli reporting live in Lewiston. Back to you.